Okay, guys, so we have the memo. Finally, it took us a little while to get hold of it. So we do have it. We are going to go through it. So, everybody, strap yourselves in because I've already read this thing and it's pretty bad. So, let's jump into it. And what I'll do is I'll actually put the memo on the screen so you can go through and actually read it along with us. So, purpose. This memorandum provides members with an update on significant facts relating to the committee's ongoing investigation into the Department of Justice, DOJ, and Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, and their use of the Forensic Intelligence Surveillance Act, FISA, during the 2016 presidential election cycle. Our findings, which were detailed below, 1. Raised concerns with the legitimacy and illegality of certain DOJ and FBI interactions with Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FISA, and 2. Represent a troubling breakdown of legal processes established to protect the American people from abuses related to the FISA process. Wow. Okay. So, investigation update. On the 21st of October 2016, the DOJ and FBI sought to receive a FISA problem cause or order, not under Title 7, authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from the FISA, or FISC. Page is a U.S. citizen who served as a volunteer advisor to the Trump presidential campaign. Consisting with the requirements under FISA, the application had to be first certified by the director or deputy director of the FBI. It then required approval of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, DAG, or the Senate-confirmed Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division. The FBI and DOJ obtained one initial FISA warrant targeting Carter Page and 3 FISA renewals from the FISC. As required by Statute 50 U.S.C. 1805 D1, the FISA order on an American citizen must be renewed by the FISC every 90 days, and made renewal requires to separate the finding of probable cause. Then Director James Comey signed 3 FISA applications in question on behalf of the FBI, and Deputy Director Andrew McCabe signed 1. That's probably why McCabe was actually fired, what do you want to call it. Then DAG Sally Yates, and then Acting DAG and Dana Botany, might be mispronouncing, and DAG Rod Reinstein each signed 1 or more FISA application on behalf of the DOJ. Due to the sensitive nature of forensic intelligence activity, FISA submissions, including renewals before the FISC or FISA court, are classified. As such, the public's confidence in the integrity of FISA process depends on the court's ability to hold the government to the highest standard, particularly as it relates to the surveillance of American citizens. However, the FISC's regulatory in protecting the rights of Americans, which was reinforced by the 90-day renewal of surveillance orders, is necessarily dependent on the government's production to the court of all material and relevant facts. This should include information potentially favorable to the target of the FISA. So at the moment, it's just naming names, saying that the DOJ and FBI went through, got this FISA record, got these FISA orders, got them signed off, and then gave them to the FISC. The FISC. So yeah, let's jump into the next part. Application that is known by the government. In this case, Carter Page, the government had at least 4 independent opportunities before the FISC to accurately provide an account of the relevant facts. However, our findings indicate that, as described below, material and relevant information was omitted. The dossier compiled by Christopher Steele, the Steele dossier, on behalf of the Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton campaign, formed an essential part of the Carter-Page FISA application. Steele was a long-time FBI source who was paid over $160,000 by the DNC and the Clinton campaign via the law firm Perkins Cole and research firm Fusion GPS to obtain derogatory information on Donald Trump's ties to Russia. Shit. Neither the initial application in October 2016 nor any of the renewals disclose any reference of the role of the DNC, Clinton campaign, or any part of the campaign in funding Steele's efforts, even though the political origins of the Steele dossier were known to the senior DOJ and FBI officials. Wow, okay. The initial FISA application notes Steele was working for a named US person, but does not name Fusion GPS and Principal Glenn Simmons, who was paid by a US law firm, Perkins & Cole, representing the DNC, even that was known by the DOJ at the time, that the political actors were involved with the Steele dossier. The application does not mention Steele was ultimately working on behalf and paid by the DNC, Clinton campaign, or that the FBI had separately authorized payment to Steele for the same information. Holy shit. The Carter-Page FISA application also cited extensively a September the 23rd, 2016 Yahoo News article by Michael Iskoff, which focuses on Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. This article does not corroborate the Steele dossier because it's derived from information leaked by Steele himself to Yahoo News. The Page FISA application incorrectly assesses that Steele did not directly provide information to Yahoo News. Steele has admitted in British court filings that he met with Yahoo News and several other outlets in September 2016 at the direction of Fusion GPS. Perkins Cole was aware of the Steele's initial media contacts because they hosted at least one meeting in Washington, D.C. in 2016 with Steele and Fusion GPS where this matter was discussed. Steele was suspended and then terminated as an FBI source from what the FBI defines as the most serious of violations: an unauthorized disclosure to the media of his relationship with the FBI in October 30th, 2016. Mother Jones article by David Cohn. Steele should have been terminated for his previous undisclosed contacts with Yahoo and other sources in September, before the Page application was submitted to the FISA court in October. But Steele's inappropriate conceal from the lie to the FBI had those contacts. Steele's numerous encounters with the media violated the cardinal rule of source handling, maintaining confidentiality, and demonstrating that Steele had become a less than reliable source for the FBI. Before and after Steele was terminated as a source, he maintained contact with the DOJ via then Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Oher, a senior DOJ official who worked closely with Deputy Attorney General Yates and later Rosenstein shortly after the election. The FBI had begun interviewing Ohr, whatever his name is, documenting his communications with Steele. For example, in September 2016, Steele admitted to Ohr his feelings against the then candidate Trump when Steele said he was, quote, desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. This clear evidence of Steele's bias was recorded by AHA at the time and subsequently in official FBI files, but not reflected in any of the Page FISA applications. During the same time period, AHA's wife was employed by Fusion GPS to assist in the cultivation of opposing research on Trump. AHA later provided the FBI with all of his wife's opposition research, paid for by the DNC and Clinton campaign via Fusion GPS. The AHA's relationship with Steele and Fusion GPS was inexplicably concealed from the FISC. According to the head of the FBI's Counterintelligence Division, Assistant Director Bill Bestrak, corroboration of Steele's dossier was in its infancy at the time of the initial Page FISA application. After Steele was terminated, a source validated records conducted by an independent unit within the FBI assessed Steele's reporting as only minimally corroborated. Yet in early January 2017, Director Comey briefly President-elect Trump on summary of the Steele dossier, even though it was, according to his June 2017 testimony, supercilious and unverified. While the FISA application relied on Steele's past record of credibility, reporting on other unrelated matters, it ignored or concealed his anti-Trump financial and ideological motivations. Furthermore, Deputy Director McCabe testified before the committee in December 2017 that no surveillance warrants would have been sought from the FISA without the Steele dossier information. The Page FISA application also mentions information regarding fellow Trump campaign advisor George Papadopoulos, but there is no evidence of any cooperation or conspiracy between Page and Papadopoulos. The Papadopoulos information triggered the opening on an FBI counterintelligence investigation in late July 2016 by the FBI agent Peter Strzokos. Strzokos was reassigned by the Special Counsel Office to FBI Human Resources for improper text messages with his mistress, FBI attorney Lisa Page, no relation to Carter Page, where they both demonstrated a clear bias against Trump in favor of Clinton, whom Strzokos had also investigated. The Strzokos-Lisa Page text also reflected extensive discussions about the investigation, orchestrating leaks to the media, and included a meeting with Deputy Director McCabe to discuss an, quote, insurance policy against President Trump election. Whoa. Okay, so what is the takeaway from this? Okay, so basically the DNC and the Clinton Foundation funded to gather opposition research. This opposition research was then given to Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele was then given this information to James Comey, the DOJ, the FBI, who then used this information to get FISA warrants. The problem is that they knew that this Christopher Steele dossier was bogus. They fraudulently used it to gather these warrants and to go through and to spy onto Carter Page and members of the Trump campaign. They've also got them on recording turning around saying they need an insurance policy in case Trump was to win the election. And basically you've got bias feelings in the FBI, DOJ, regarding Trump, and these are key essential personnel who are doing things like getting FISA warrants, issuing FISA warrants, and alike. So at the end of the day, this is not good for the FBI. This is not good for the DOJ. We can sort of get an idea of why McCabe was actually retired. And yeah, there are going to be a few heads that roll. Also, you know, the Clinton Foundation funding this as well and all that isn't good. But at the end of the day, obviously there's no smoking guns saying that the Clinton Foundation went through and deliberately funded this so that they could do this. This is obviously, the information we have is limited. I imagine there is a lot more damaging information that they're still going through and finding. And I'll be very surprised if this is basically the crux of everything they've got. So just from what we see here, we can get a fair idea of what's going on. Treason, maybe? I don't know, guys. Look, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What do you see as this? Do you see this as treason? Do you see this as opposition research? Do you think there's a problem with this? Do you think there's nothing wrong with this? Do you think it's in between? Look, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like if you're new, channel welcome, and subscribe. And apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.